Okay, guys, in the light of Nipsey Hussle's death, I just want to give a shout out. The marathon continues, and this is Project Restoration, Jeremiah 23 and Hoods. I got the Statue of Liberty in the back of me right here, and I want to just say, in the light of reparations for this country, as far as to African American descendants of slaves who worked the land. They worked the land and were promised 40 acres and a mule. The land in back of me, all over this strip, is 20 acres. 20 acres, $20 million per acre. We were promised 40 acres and a mule. That's what the slaves were promised. Many of them didn't get it. So my shout out is Nehemiah 1 and 3. Number one, when Nehemiah went to rebuild Jerusalem, he had to fix the walls so that the enemy couldn't come in. And I just want to say today, the enemy came in through the 80s from South America when all the drugs swept up the West Coast and messed up all the hoods and through the cocaine. So that wall speak volume. So number one, you got to stop the drugs. Number two, if this go for 20 million an acre out here in Las Vegas on this strip, then if we have 40 acres each, we would have no problems, right? Well, I'm not asking that, but in the name of restoration, I would say that America, to do justly and able to move forward, she has to deal with the injustice, the Jim Crow laws, the slavery that built the wealth in the country, and everything else. We're the only people that work for free, and I would suggest that they restore land. That way we can do the Nipsey Hussle, and that is to create jobs on that land and restore jobs to our people, because the drugs are dealt with at the border. Okay, you stop the drugs, you did the best you could, and so that we could create our own jobs, but we need the land. Land is the number one thing, and the scripture says that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So you're only stewards over it. So if you do something unjustly, if you use people to work land and you become wealthy, it is only just to repair what was stolen, to restore back what was taken, or at least include them in, like you said, with the 40 acres and the mule, into the restoration of, so that we can build our own and have our own. And that's what Nipsey Hussle, that's what shout out he gave. He came from the curb, and what did he do? He bought the strip mall after they tried to shut him down, and he hired his own people as an example. All I'm saying, in the prophetic, Nehemiah 1, first of all, stop the drugs at the border. Second of all, restore the land to African Americans that were descendants of slaves that worked the land and built the wealth in the country, that helped contribute to the wealth in this country in a major way. And then we can take that land, whether it be $20 million an acre out here or whatever those acres are, and we can build in each state, in each community, the businesses and our own things that we need to be restored back to the dignity. The hoods, if you look at them, we call them blocks, whether it be neighborhoods, NH, or blocks. But it's really not our block, but what they're saying is, where's my acre? We don't need the mule. We don't need your money. We just want restoration for land. Shout out Jeremiah 23 and Hoods, Project Restoration. And that way we can build our own. We can hold our own. We can own our own strip malls. We can hire our own felons, like this young man did. Because we have the power in our hand by the land that belongs to the Lord. It would be justice to do so, because the land don't belong to anybody but God. And if you're going to steward it, you got to do justly. Nehemiah 1 and 3. God bless you. This is live from Las Vegas, Nevada on July 4th, Independence Day. And at the time in 1776, we were still working the land. We were still building the wealth in the country through trade, through cotton, and through crops, through tobacco. So it would be fair to restore lands as a reparations to African Americans before we got lost in all the millions, 320 million people here now. Now we don't count. But it counts to God because the land belongs to Him. Selah. Project Restoration, Jeremiah 23 and Hoods. The marathon continues. I'm out.